Hey folks, welcome to another TLDR video, this time on the day 3 of the hype week. We're going to be talking about the Lich and Necromancer changes. Keep in mind, I haven't really played a lot of these classes, so my context is going to be a little bit limited. But yeah, if you do like this sort of thing, please consider leaving a like on the video. As always, it does help a lot. And let's jump into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is FLAY. FLAY is a little bit different than some of the other melee skills we've seen. We have built-in movement. You can't really see that happening in this clip here because they're just attacking short range, but it does say up to 3 meters towards an enemy if not within range. So if the enemy is like 10 meters away, it seems like if you're targeting in that direction towards the enemy and you attack 3 times, you would then be in range. If you have a lot of attack speed, maybe you could use this as a bit of a like a movement alternative. We also have scaling tags here, short range. I think this is a new scaling tag. We have dual scaling here. We have flat fizz 2 per point for dexterity. That's a pretty good amount. Could do some sort of like hybrid stacker. A lot of items give both int and dex. Maybe if we had a cleaver solution type thing for dexterity, you could do something interesting. But yeah, we also have 200% effectiveness. It's not bad. And then effectiveness of added spell damage on the blood eruption. It doesn't seem like you're getting this for single target, unless there's some nodes in the tree that enable that. But for your AoE, this is probably pretty good. Then moving on, we have some scaling. So this is pretty interesting. FLAY and all skills triggered by it deal more spell damage per 100 max mana. So if you have like 2,000 max mana, for example, this will be doing 400% more damage. So 5 times damage is pretty significant in all the triggers. So with this, you would just be basically stacking attack speed and spell damage, trying to boost your spells, playing a bit of an on-hit build, and probably just using FLAY as like the triggering thing with mobility built in. That's my guess. Something like that would be pretty cool. There is also some new support we'll talk about in a second for mana stacking. It does feel like the direction the new changes are pointing you is, it feels a little bit handholdy of like, oh, you should do this way. Then we have transference. You can put your Aura of Decay onto a boss or rare, so you won't be harmed by it. You drop it. With FLAY, though, because it is a gap closer, you are going to be moving towards the boss as you attack it, unless you're like kiting away every time, I guess. Then we have some conversions. There's a lot of ailment scaling stuff in the Acolyte trees, so anytime you have stuff like this, there's always potential for something creative to happen. We have Frostbite, so potentially you could do some sort of Frostbite thing if you have some Frostbite chance, and then maybe you're also applying it with your spells, because with all the things you're going to be triggering, there's going to be a lot of hits, so maybe something like this, if you can find a way to scale the damage into the ailment being applied. Maybe there's some sort of Morning Frost type thing you might be able to do. Morning Frost does also give spell damage. It gives melee and spell damage, so potentially a Morning Frost setup where you're applying a bunch of cold to all the spells and the melee hit. You might be able to get some decent damage out of that. It's hard to say. You will need a bit more scaling to really pull that together, but it is an idea. We have Soul Ripper, so physical to necrotic and bleed to damned. There's a lot of powerful stuff you can do with damned, so this could be interesting as well. Then we have the new unique item. It doesn't appear to be class locked, unless it's missing the tag somewhere, but as far as I can tell, it's not class locked. This is a one-handed weapon, and from the way it sounds, it feels like a mini world splitter. You have some mana stuff. So the math on this, you get 3 per 2 seconds. For 8 seconds, 2% per. So the math on that, you're getting 1.5 stacks per second if you're getting full utilization. So you could get up to 12 stacks times 4 would be 48% increased damage from a one-hander. So that's basically what World Splitter gives as a two-hander that's meant for mana stacking. 48% increased mana On a one-hander, looks like you can probably dual wield this, maybe. I don't know if you want to do that. I think that there might be some non-Acolyte builds that may want to experiment with this. Maybe some sort of mage, you could do some like weird mana strike thing, or um, even something else that cares about having a lot of mana. Then moving on, we have some skill changes. So Rip Blood, it's not doing the little blood ball things. You have an actual line now. Hits all enemies in a line. This, I'm guessing, will probably feel a lot better for leveling, as this is an early skill for Acolyte. Then we have Blood Bond. So there's some changes here. The Tether, they added a scaling here, 1% more damage per bleed on the target. That's actually a lot. If you had like 1,000 bleed stacks, you have 1,000% more damage. It is quite a bit. On its own, it's probably not enough, but you are also able to add the damage at 200% effectiveness. So if you compare it to some of the other like single stack per target things, you don't usually start with this much base damage potential. So if you can find a way to get a lot of flat damage and you can apply a lot of stacks of bleed, you can potentially scale this quite a bit. It is physical, so unless you can convert this, you don't have the really powerful Ellie dot affixes. So yeah, maybe not. Then we have Carnage. So we have another thing that's proccing on trigger. This is really good. Doesn't look like there's a cooldown here, so every time you use Rip Blood, you just get an extra thing happening. Those are always really good. You get a lot more hits, you get a lot more effects, ailments, whatever it is you're doing. You'll be getting more of that. Then we have a bunch of minion stuff. Now, I'm really out of my depth here. I never play minions, but we have a lot of powerful bomb stuff. So a bomb has been in a bit of a weird state with all the like snapshotting shenanigans and stuff. She did say that they are removing that and giving a bit more power back to compensate. So we'll have to see what the numbers on these minions look like, but it is possible they may end up overtuned. I'm guessing similar to last season with Sentinel being a bit overtuned for the Sentinel rework. It's possible we might see the same thing here with minions. But yeah, it's just too soon to tell. But we have a lot of A-Bump stuff. So Tower of Bones, you get bonuses from absorbing different types of minions. So some stomp stuff. We have some arrow stuff from absorbing the archers. Then we have the Aura of Decay. They're changing the damage, the way it works a little bit. So you're going to take slightly less damage from your own, but you get less free poison DR. I don't know if this is a big deal, but it is a little bit less damage from your own. So I guess that's nice. Then we have damage conversions. You can convert it into bleed and physical, and it gives you physical dot mitigation. That's okay. I don't think we really have that many physical dots to worry about. But yeah, it's okay. And probably some other things you could do with this, getting bleed stacks. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then we have Frostbite. So this could potentially synergize with the FLAY. If you're already doing Frostbite, you get a bunch of Frostbite chance. You might be able to combine the FLAY with this, and then you're just applying a bunch of Frostbites. Then we have Fester. So while active, your Aura of Decay ramps. It says while you are stationary, the node we looked at before, where you can FLAY and put the Aura of Decay on the boss, it does say you gain stacks per second while stationary, you lose stacks while moving. It depends on the timing, how this will feel. Then we have some passive changes. So Executioner, this is a really big change to dual wielding across the board, not just Lich. We have attack and cast speed while dual wielding. This is increased, so not a more multiplier. Is probably going to work out to at least 10% more damage for most characters that care about attack and cast speed. Then we have a leech node, so you have a lot more leech rate. You can make yourself not recover. Your leech would be staying, so you'd have a perma heal, like an overleech effect, similar to like if you have experimental glove affix. you would also have Overleech. So it's not really something totally new, but it looks like there's some amount of low life synergy. Then we have less damage over time. Damage over time taken bypasses ward. Usually easier to replenish health than it is ward. So this is kind of like DR for hybrid builds. Pretty cool stuff. Then we have Necromancer node here. Int and Vitality with a 3-point threshold. Minion more damage over time per Vitality. I don't know if you're getting that much Vitality on Lich, but potentially this is good. You're also stacking health, maybe. Increase crit chance per int, 1%. It feels low to me, but I don't know. Maybe that's good. Then we have damage redirected to the lowest health minion. So this is giving you DR basically, 5 points, so 10% DR pretty much. Then we have minion health restored on minion death. It doesn't seem like the health restored is distributed. It seems like each minion, so if you had 6 minions, or 7, are you healing more than 100% of the dead minion health across your other minions? Maybe. Sounds like that. Then we have some more stuff here about effigies. And yeah, this has been a long video. As always, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.